Hi, I'm Out of Darts. Today I wanted to show off rival grenades. These things I got introduced to about a month and a half ago when Brett brought one by and I was in his video talking about them. I've been too busy to actually get a chance to talk about them myself. Now these are currently being sold by Lightake and I have them on my shop as well, so full disclaimer, obviously I'm selling these. It's not an unbiased review or anything like that. I think they are a really amazing little design, and it's really rad that they actually work with rivals. So for those who haven't seen one of the other videos about these already, these are designed for water beads, which are for airsoft. So they're small little, I don't know, 6 or 8 millimeter water beads. I'm not sure the size, but it has a simple clutch mechanism that then opens up 3 flaps, and so you would stuff the water beads in here. Now, as Welcome, I believe, figured out first, you can shove rival balls inside, and you can pretty comfortably fit 4 in each side. But I wanted to first show these being used a little bit and just kind of talked about them in general, and also kind of give a little bit of a disclaimer and just some warnings as far as care and maintenance of them. So the first thing is that you need to sort of understand how these work to use them properly. And there's of course no manual or real explanation. So you've got a clutch, or a latch here rather, that slides in and it hooks around 3 hooks that look about like this, pulling in 3 different directions for the 3 flaps. And so in order to put those in, what you really want to do when you're loading this is let that dumbbell there, the weight, fall down, then close everything up, and the last step is pushing that back in place. So you're going to take your rival balls and you're going to cram them in here. Now this definitely is not easy. This is my first sort of disclaimer about selling these, is that this isn't like a real war practical thing. This is definitely like a novelty sort of fun toy. So again, you want to keep that ball fully out so you're able to tuck all these down, and if that clutch is out, then you're able to actually close these better. If you try close the flaps while the actual release is in, you can actually strip and wear out the plastic bits here. Now these 3 are my personal 3 now, and I actually had these returned by a customer. It turns out 2 of them were totally fine. It's just that I think they were maybe being potentially used incorrectly, which is why I wanted to make this video. So again, this little flap is still out. I've got 1 flap loaded, and now I'm going to close the second one, and I'm going to load my final 2. So again, I'm just going to shove 4 in here. I really wouldn't recommend a whole lot more than 4. I know people have fit 5 or even 6, and it depends on the rounds you have, but I personally think that 4 is ideal because it's already putting quite a bit of stress on this design. So after we get 4, and I've got sort of a mishmash of different brands. There's some Nerf, some Headshot, and some others. Now again, I have not pushed this in yet. If this is in and you do this in the upright position, you'll be wearing down your clutch parts each time. And then once you're here, you just let that drop down into the center and give it a little push, and then you should be good there. Now again, this is like one of the ones that was returned to me, so I've turned this into my personal one because I hadn't actually had a chance to go play with them yet. And then of course you've got a locking pin. Now with the locking pin, with that in there, really easy to lose, by the way, so do keep that in mind. You could always replace it with a paper clip or something like that, but it's pretty easy to just drop them off and when you're playing. So what I would recommend is tethering this to yourself so that when you pull the pin stays with you, because you do want to have the pin. So now when it's in this position locked, you actually that ball can't move and activate the latches. And then from there, that's basically ready to fire. And so now if you aren't careful about these latches, this is just ABS plastic. So as I open this one up, I'm trying to find the one here that's actually a little worn down. So one of the 3 that I had returned did indeed have a worn down clutch here. And I believe I'm going to be able to just melt that back in place with a heat knife, so I'll be able to use this personally. Otherwise, that's a pretty tough piece to print a 3D part replacement. And again, these are sort of somewhat novelty. I mean, they're a fairly heavy chunk of plastic, so I wouldn't recommend tossing them at people, but I've had a lot of fun just blowing these up in my garage, and it's just a really neat kind of gimmick as far as how these work. And I think they're kind of a really fun product, even if they're not super practical in playing in an actual game, because how often are you going to be able to get 10 feet from somebody and throw this in a way that it's going to work? The way these work is they have the 3 flaps that shoot the balls, so it's rather directional. So if I take this first one, which I've already loaded, and I drop this right here, I'm just going to toss it on the counter here. I'm going to see if I can get it to hit myself. I don't even know if I'll be able to. Nope, didn't even get to open it. So it really needs more of a drop, and I'm going to actually throw it onto the table this time and see if I can get it to go towards myself. Sort of. These are available in my shop at the link below, and let me know what you think. Obviously, I'm kind of already of the opinion these don't work in a war, but have you tried it? Have you used them inside? Have you had any fun times with these yet? I know I've sold quite a few of them, so I know there are plenty of them out there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, I'm out of darts.